term, President Trump this weekend called for ramped-up investigations into his political foes. CBS's Willie James Inman is at the White House for us with new details on this. Willie James, good evening.
Tony, good evening to you. President Trump is demanding.
At what point would resistance with guns be justified here? The thing is that the political elite does it very clever. Gun people that love guns in America always say, I need this to defend against a tyrannical government. But now you slowly have a tyrannical government. You always had a tyrannical government. Oh, we're going to Iraq. They have weapons of mass destruction. Yeah. America was always up and kind of tyrannical, right? But the guy with the gun doesn't really see it. They're actually so clever, they manipulated him to believe in the guy. I like Trump. We gotta protect yourself from these libtards, man. I need my guns. I need my guns. They stormed the Capitol and even over 100 people pled guilty, but he pardoned them. This is great, guys.
Go after his political...
They won't even know when you have to fight a tyrannical government.
Rivals.
Which is clever as fuck.
Whoa.
Thank you, Rungstedt. Thank you.
Following a shakeup in the U.S. Attorney's office in Eastern Virginia.
This weekend, President Trump is publicly putting pressure on the Department of Justice and Attorney General Pam Bondi.
And that, dude, I don't know if I'm just a weird lip-tot. A president should never, ever, ever, ever fuck with an Attorney General, right? If you're the number one state lawyer in the government, you gotta be independent, you gotta be neutral, you gotta be unfuckable. But he is telling her everything to do and shit.
In a post on Truth Social, the president said,
I have reviewed over 30 statements and posts saying that essentially same old story as last time, all talk, no action, nothing is being done. What about Comey, Adam Schiff, Letitia? They are all guilty as hell, but nothing, I mean, who's guilty, Alter? But nothing is going to be done. Then we almost put in a Democratic-supported U.S. attorney in Virginia with a really bad Republican past. A woke rhino who was never going to do his job. I swear to God, the guy's dementia at this point. That's why 2 of the worst Democratic senators pushed him so hard, he even, I don't know what this is about. I have no idea. Justice must be served now.
What about Comey, Adam Schiff, Letitia? They're all guilty as hell, but nothing is going to be done, adding justice must be served.
It's an effort to try to silence and intimidate people, but I refuse to be silenced or intimidated.
The president's demand is drawing criticism from both sides of the aisle.
We need to get politics out of the judicial system as much as we can.
Yeah, I mean, yes. This is the most fucked up shit. Anyone who went to 4th grade knows this. You can't have the fucking president fuck with the Justice Department shit. In any way, shape, or form, even Democrat or whatever the fuck.
Up within the DOJ. Trump says he will nominate senior White House aide and former personal defense attorney Lindsey.
So now he's installing one of his goons in such an important role.
Halligan as the top prosecutor for the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of...
And we all know who she's gonna go after, man.
Virginia. Eric Siebert, who was serving in the role, was pushed out Friday after failing to move forward with a mortgage fraud case against New York Attorney General Letitia James.
It looks like she's very guilty, but that's going to be up to the DOJ.
Also this weekend.
Well, she can pardon herself, can she?
New pushback on the use of masks by federal agents.
We're not North Korea, Mr. President. We're not the Soviet Union. This is the United States of America.
California Governor Gavin Newsom on Saturday signed a bill in...
That guy looks like a villain in Dexter, man. Like, when that guy walks into a TV show, you know that is going to be this season's villain.
...into law banning most local and federal law enforcement officers from wearing masks while on duty.
ICE, unmask. What are you afraid of?
The California law goes into effect on January 1st, but the White House is expected to fight the move in court. And Tony, the Washington Post reports the Trump administration plans to make an announcement Monday about a purported link between Tylenol and autism risk. Tony?
We'll be watching that.
So that's later today. Today, he's going to cure autism.
Today, President Trump will give personal remarks to memorialize the loss of his friend and political ally, Charlie Kirk, at what is expected to be a huge memorial service in Arizona. But Kirk's assassination has roiled the MAGA movement.
Okay, blah, 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 whatever. Okay, I think we're... let's watch this video now. Somebody send me this. And then I want to change topics. We're going to investigate. I actually don't know much about it. Thank you, Freezy. The cancellation of a second late-night host, Stephen Colbert. We have Jimmy Kimmel now canceled, which was called for by Trump 2 months ago. We're going to look at that. I have no idea what Jimmy really said. I want to look at it. And if it is worth the cancellation. We can take a look at that. Let's watch this real quick. Somebody send me this, and then we take a look.
How did we go from here?
I have a dream! Kent Noodle is here, let's go! Kent Noodle! Lots of facts and shit today. It's not gonna be good for you. I love you.
How did we go from here?
I have a dream!
To here?
I think you could say I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
From weaponizing the media.
We are fighting the fake news.
To mass deportations.
You don't need to do this.
These are all calculated steps in a pattern we have seen before in history. And yes, it's very concerning. The question is, how far have we already gone?
I know the last hour was a bit much for you, and looking at all the studies we looked here today, it's hard for you. It's very hard. That we actually came to the conclusion that the political right is double more violent than the political left, which all the data suggests. It's crazy, I know.
This video, I'll walk you through the 5 stages of fascism, compare them to America today, and reveal exactly which stage we are in, starting from here.
You bought it!
The world was an economic
That was the peak, man. Occupy Wall Street, that was the peak. But then the rich understand we gotta get them off here. We gotta make them scared about transgenders.
Lost their homes and jobs, while banks got bailed out and Wall Street was rescued. People's trust...
They gambled your money and all got bailed out. One middle-class manager went to prison for 2008 housing crisis. They got bailed out with your taxpayer money, bro. That is the craziest criminal act ever.
In the government, banks, and media was running out.
Like the
this became the perfect catalyst for the emergence of the Tea Party movement. Their extreme rhetoric made anti-establishment anger mainstream. But this anger was just raw fuel, waiting for the right person to weaponize it. And in 2011, one person found the perfect lie to build his entire political brand, and they just ate it up.
Why doesn't he show his birth certificate?
Birth certificate.
Birth certificate. His birth certificate. Birth certificate.
The whole birth certificate.
It all started in craziness. It all started in craziness.
It's a real possibility.
President's birth certificate.
And yeah, very good point in chat. We're all very quiet about Epstein right now. Everyone is very quiet about Epstein. When big companies go bankrupt, they bail them out. When you go bankrupt, they take your house. It's socialism for the rich and capitalism for the rest of us. Well said.
Certificate is a fraud.
It's one of the...
I really urge you to watch, honestly, to watch The Big Short, man. That is the biggest horror movie ever. You gotta watch this tonight. The Big Short with Ryan Gosling and Christian Bale. You gotta watch that shit, man. That is the craziest shit.
Great scams of all time.
Absolutely.
This is what stage 1 of fascism is all about. Disillusionment. According to Paxton, this is where it starts. A figure exploits people's frustration with the status quo, turning disappointment into rage. They don't just criticize leaders, they delegitimize the entire system. And once that foundation is set, it snowballs into something much worse. And with cable TV and the internet, it only made things worse. People weren't debating the facts anymore. They were living in completely different realities. One side could see Trump as a dangerous demagogue, while the other saw him as a savior. And from stage 1, the foundations were set for the biggest shock of 2016, and what followed would only accelerate from there.
It is my high honor and distinct privilege to introduce to you the President-elect of the United States of America, Donald Trump.
From fringe candidate to president of the most powerful country in the world. Here we see another historical parallel with what happened with Hitler and Mussolini, who were both once outsiders before becoming heads of state. But how did Trump go toe-to-toe against 16 other Republicans with years of experience and still dominate them? The reason is simple. His background as a TV icon gave him an unfair advantage.
You're fired. Okay, go. All right.
While others gave long, boring policy speeches, Trump threw out insults like it was TV drama.
All right, wait. Don't worry about it, little Marco.
People ate it up.
And now he has to work for him.
Giving him daily TV coverage, while the others just looked boring, which cemented his position far faster than anyone had expected. The reality had become so distorted that it gave Trump permission to say this without facing any repercussions.
They say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
This...
I remember this. Like, even he is like, whoa. Damn, these people are just fucking idiots.
Is only stage 2, and he said this 9 years ago. Imagine how much bolder he's become since. The current state of America is so alarming that experts are fleeing abroad because they recognize these patterns from history. So what comes...
That's actually crazy, man. I don't know how legit that is, but fucking leaving the country already? That's fucking creepy, man.
After stage 2, the complete capture of the Conservative Party. The very same people Trump fought against during his primary campaign were lining up, desperate to make a deal with him. The arrangement was to let Trump lead the Republican Party, but behind the scenes, they would be the ones actually running policy, thinking they could control him. If we look at what happened in Germany in 1933, German conservatives made the exact same deal, and I'm not making this up. They thought they could use Hitler to get what they wanted. Conservative judges, traditional values, economic policies, while keeping him under control. They literally said the same thing. We can control him. In the beginning, it appeared to work. Trump delivered exactly what they wanted. 3 Supreme Court justices.
Yeah, the early presidency, but then I read this article, his second presidency was much more prepared. He had much more of a free will.
This gave conservatives a commanding 6-3 majority on the Supreme Court that would...
Utter insanity that a fucking president votes for these people. Insanity. Nothing should be more neutral in a society than the Supreme Court. Yet the president, whether he's Democrat or Republican, votes for them or chooses them. And then I know they go through Congress, but you know, insanity, 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 insanity. The same in Russia. The oligarchs thought they could control Putin
for decades. But what ended up happening with Hitler?
And the CDU will totally control the AfD? Dude, I had this thought yesterday. Yesterday I was walking after the kindergarten. No, I was walking. I don't know why I was walking. And I had this thought. I was walking and I had this idea that how arrogant are you and me thinking that our lifetimes will just be easy? If you look at the human race, all generations, our parents had the Cold War, Vietnam in the US, then there was World War II, World War I. They all had to go through shit, the fall of the wall. My parents, they didn't know what the fuck communism is over all of a sudden. And we thought we're just gonna watch Pokemon and play games. If you think about it, it seems a bit like every generation needs its big test. Maybe it's just the big test of the simulation, the big test of human life, that we all have a test per generation. And maybe, just maybe, my dear friends, I don't know, I hope I'm wrong. Thank you, Rhododendron. Maybe our big test is still fucking coming, man. Maybe this, I'm living in my parents' house and I just play video games and life is fucking easy. Maybe it's not gonna be that easy in the next 50 years. Maybe our big test is just in front of us in these next decades, man. Fucking creepy. But I also had this thought, and I'm now gonna be a little bit of a heroic asshole here. I think it's important to be prepared for this test, to be ready for this test, to face this test, and not shy away, to not appease, to not look away, to not be scared, because we all know what's gonna fucking happen again, and again, and again. I don't know, I hope I'm wrong, but it looks like a test might be coming, especially now for the Americans. In Germany, we have it soon, with the AfD winning in 3 years. A big fucking test, and we'll see. But it looks like, I hate tests. I'm scared that maybe you and me will not have these easy, chill lives we always thought of.
Within months, he had consolidated all power, turned the party into nothing more than an extension of his will, and turned the people who are using him to either become...
Germany needs more defense boosting if they want to pass the test. I think the German test is an internal test, with the AfD now leading the polls with 25%.
His most subservient followers, or were eliminated entirely. And what ended up happening in America?
Yeah, if Trump doesn't like you and thinks you're against him, you're gonna be gone.
Trump systematically restructured the entire Republican Party, beginning with purging every Republican who had opposed him.
Gonzalez became the first of the 10 House Republicans who voted for impeachment after the January 6th insurrection.
Oh, he should not have done that. So he did his free speech. He wanted to impeach. Big mistake, buddy. Big fucking mistake.
Retire.
Senators who had publicly criticized Trump had suddenly became his biggest cheerleader. And this was not just political calculation anymore. It became total submission. This is where the mask comes off. What was once unthinkable becomes inevitable. And they begin breaking everything, including the conservatives who helped them get there.
Known as Schedule F. It's a plan that would radically transform the federal bureaucracy and allow Trump to install...
There's a viewer whose name I'm not going to say, who, one of my, I'm going to spoil a bit, my first ever subscriber, one of my first ever subscribers, he works in the government in the US, and I talked to him a bit in Discord, and he literally will tell me he is scared what to tweet and stuff. He works in the government, he's like in, I'm not going to say, he works in the government, and he was like, yeah, I'm quiet right now, I'm shutting my mouth, I'm not going to post anything bad.
Loyalists all across the federal government.
And just as they cannot tolerate internal opposition, eliminating the Department of Education becomes the next logical step. Look at how Trump attacks
always destroy education. You gotta destroy education. So important.
Universities. This is not about academic policy. It's about delegitimizing any institution that produces citizens.
This video is like scaring me, man. What the fuck? What is this fucking video? I feel like I gotta open the right rows, man.
Citizens capable of challenging him. But the true scale of Trump's influence became clear after he lost the presidency, where he literally tried to stop the Democratic election by inciting the January 6th riot.
Pardoned all of them. Pardoned all of them. Think about it. Think about it for a second. Even 100 and something 10 literally pled guilty.
Of that,
all pardoned.
He organized attempts to create fraudulent electoral votes in multiple states to rig the voting system.
We could do this all day, right? In Texas, they now changed the district so the Republicans will easily win all the time and stuff like that.
And as a defense, he claims presidential immunity. And this in and of itself is already very concerning in all levels. But again, the similarity to what happened with Germany raises even bigger alarm. As you can tell, this
expelling anti-Nazi professors, banning rival political parties, we're not there yet. And unfair elections. The next election is going to be wild. Oh, that's going to be wild.
This is where America currently stands. But here's the thing about Paxton's framework. Stage 5 is not just another step. It's the point of no return. Being in stage 4 should scare you to death. Because stage 5 is when there's no more pretending. And the
Still, I want to be pro-Trump here. No one is building concentration camps yet. We still have to be a bit calm here. Obviously, certain things are happening, like calling the destruction of Medigate and the destruction of USAID is literally going to kill people and stuff, but it's gotta stay fucking calm, man.
Warning signs, they're already here.
We're not on that
Trump
level
has
yet.
promised in his...
I mean, there literally is ice camps. You cannot fucking compare a USA right now to a fucking Hitler Germany late stage. Come on. Come on. That's going a bit too far.
Own words.
We will begin...
They're literally building a concentration camp right now. Shut up, Alligator Alcatraz. The South Florida detention facility, nicknamed Alligator Alcatraz, is an immigration detention facility. And the first state-run facility for the... Well, I think they wouldn't starve people to death there. And, you know... Blah, blah, blah. Okay, they're building a new... come on, chat, like, come on. Calm down a bit. Comparing this to what happened to the Jews has been insane.
The largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than that of President Dwight D. Eisenhower.
His team has outlined plans for detention camps, mass holding facilities built to process millions of people, and even the deployment of military for enforcement. The signs
he already did that in Washington
are glaring, where not only does Trump shifts his focus inwards, but also the...
I feel fucking scared, man. This is scary. Because if you sit down and look at it, this is not... Here's one point we all have to agree on. Even you can, Noodle. There's one point you cannot disagree with. What's happening in America right now is not a joke anymore. You cannot take it lightly. The evidence, the actions of the MAGA movement clearly show it's not a fucking joke anymore. It's not a joke anymore.
Use of mass detention camps are obvious warnings from the past. Historically, if we were to link with what happened in the past, the targets wouldn't stop with undocumented immigrants. Legal immigrants and even birthright citizens can be floated as future targets. And if mass deportations weren't alarming enough, Trump plans to ramp up his power.
Makes you wonder if people will be clever enough, though, to understand that we learn from history. It will be interesting.
Reserved for wartime dictatorships. Trump and his allies have already talked about deploying the military against protesters through the Insurrection Act, and they even plan on suspending normal legal processes, even elections under martial law, under the guise of restoring order. And perhaps most alarming,
people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics, and it should be very easily handled by if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military.
So my question for you is this. Are these just coincidences in history, or are they real warning signs that
That is a great question to ask. You can even say this video is fearmongering, but are these signs that should be looked at, or is it just a coincidence? That's a great final thing. Experts in fascism are leaving the United States 4 months ago.
I'm a historian of totalitarianism.
I look at fascist rhetoric.
I've been thinking about the sources of the worst kinds of history for a quarter of a century.
100% just fearmongering? I think that's very uneducated by you. You clearly see warning signs, and an educated mind will take these warning signs serious. Saying 100% fearmongering is retarded. You should say 50% or something.
Experts say the constitutional
It's a fearmongering trap. I think that's ridiculous. You guys are fucking ridiculous.
Here now.
The Trump administration deporting hundreds of men without a trial.
A massive purge at the FBI to make people afraid of speaking out against him.
I'm leaving to the University of Toronto because I want to do my work without the fear that I will be punished for my words.
The lesson of 1933 is you get out sooner rather than later.
I've spent a lot of time in the last decade trying to prepare people if Trump were elected once, let alone twice.
Look what happened. Is this crazy?
I did not flee Trump, but if people are going to leave the United States or leave American University...
Trump already did January 6th, yet people in chat are still calling this fearmongering. America deserves to fall. If America falls, the whole world is going to be in big trouble, man.
Reasons for that. One thing you can definitely learn from Russians
is that it's essential to set up centers of resistance.
This guy, Timothy, is the one documenting the terrible conditions in ice camps. One of them? What?
In places of relative safety.
We want to make sure that if there is a political crisis in the U.S., that Americans are organized.
We've just gotten started. You haven't even seen anything yet. It's all just kicking in.
My colleagues and friends, they were walking around and saying, we have checks and balances, so let's inhale, checks and balances.
That's me. I will talk like this. I will talk like this.
Checks and
but very slowly, you undermine these checks and balances.
And I thought, my God, we're like people on the Titanic saying our ship can't sink. We've got the best ship, we've got the strongest ship, we've got the biggest ship. Our ship can't sink. And what you know as a historian is that there is no such thing as a ship that can't sink.
The golden age of America has only just begun.
America has long had an exceptionalist narrative. Fascism can happen elsewhere, but not here.
But talking about American exceptionalism is basically a way to get people to fall into line. If you think that there's this thing out there called America, and it's exceptional, that means that you don't have to do anything. Whatever is happening, it must be freedom. And so then what your definition of freedom is just gets narrowed and narrowed and narrowed and narrowed, and soon you're using the word freedom, but what you're talking about...
I'm being left here with a bit of fear in my soul, man. This is all kind of scary, man.
Toni Morrison warned us.
The descent into a final solution is not a jump. It's one step.
What's that?
And then another. And then another.
But I like how, I mean, that was insane. Insanity. But he's just autistic, right, guys? But I feel like, don't do sub mode. Don't do sub mode. I don't want to, don't do sub mode. I was about to say something. I would hope, though, that nowadays we're a bit more intelligent. We can organize better with the internet and stuff. You did that? I did not. I clicked nothing. My hand wasn't even there. I literally clicked nothing, it is. My hand wasn't even on the screen. That was not me. Wait, I can't turn it off. Oh, here we go. Free speech. I didn't even have my hand on it.
Are seeing those steps accelerated right now.
That was not me, chat. I didn't have my hand there.
There are some words, in Russian in particular, that I feel help us to understand what's happening in the United States.
I swear I did not do that. I didn't have my hand anywhere close. It's getting scary, man.
Because we now...
This video is meant to fearmonger. I think you're so wrong. So wrong. I sit here almost every day. We're looking at the facts of what's going on in America. And I think just sitting here like, it's just fearmongering. It's just fearmongering. right? It's partly fear-mongering, 100%. But you gotta fucking, it's opinion, not facts. Oh, Alter. Bro, what are we doing? Why are you, oh my God, Jesus, people. Have you seen today's stream? Have you looked at stuff?
I'll have those phenomena.
Jesus.
Purging. It's the idea that the powers that be can do anything they want to you.
This video is saying things that they are facts now. Alter, we showed facts today. For example, Trump, one of the main contents on today's stream, a Trump executive order of January 2025, deleting 8,000 government pages in regard to information to HIV, transgender shit, even if you're against transgender shit, DI, even against it, long COVID, environmental struggles, and the deletion of certain studies. For example, the study coming out 4 months ago showing clearly that political violence is 54% coming from the right, 24% of Islamic violence, and 22% left-wing violence. A study now archived and gone from the Department of Justice. Dude, we can sit here all day. I honestly believe the people that say this is just fear-mongering. You know these things. You know him. Every day, everyone is telling you about what Trump is doing, certain things that step by step are kind of fucking weird. We have a list of hundreds of things, and you still just sit there going, it's just fear-mongering. It's all fine, guys. It's all, it must be a coping mechanism. You either have an agenda that you like this, or you have a coping mechanism going on where you're like, oh, don't worry about it, right? Like your brain can't handle it or something. Because if this is real, if this is actually what's happening, then it means pretty fucking severe consequences for all of us. And maybe your brain is having a little bit of trouble with that, man.
Have no recourse.
I just want to play fucking Roblox. I don't want to care about the fascist government. It's not up to you, though.
This not knowing who is...
You don't think your political preference influences how you view this? No, wrong, wrong, wrong. If you saw the stream, which you didn't 2 hours ago, we looked at many, many studies all coming to the same conclusion about political violence. What Trump is saying, that the left is more politically violent, is not funded in data. It is not true. This has nothing to do with opinions. Once again, Ken Doodle, you're just a fool. That's why I put a book in your package called Factfulness. How to look at facts, how to determine sources. I put it in your package to fucking help you a bit. Also, I put a pride flag in there for you. It's insanity. How you talk like that? Insanity. Utter insanity. I watched the 2 hours before this when we talked about this. We looked at fun-dated data. And this is what makes me insane. You sit here and you genuinely try to show data. And I'm sitting here saying, who can counter this? Send me a link. I'm listening. No one had anything. And then 2 hours later, hi, I'm Ken Doodle. This is just your opinions. This is just feelings. It's insanity. And this is so counterproductive. And this is what we have to beat if we want to have a chance here still. And not go into a fucking 50 years of fucking what happened in 1930, man. It is insanity how the facts are in your face. And you're sitting there like 12-year-old kids. Oh, it's just fear-mongering.
Next, creates a state of paralysis.
You must have an agenda there.
The tough student whose
maybe
visa
you're just dumb
was
or
removed because she co-authored an article in the Tufts student newspaper.
I thought, what would I do if guys in masks tried to grab my student? Would I scream? Would I run away? Would I try to pull the mask off? Would I try to videotape the scene? Would I try to pull the guys off of her? Maybe I would get scared and run away. The truth is, I don't know. Not knowing terrified me.
It's a deliberate act of terror. It's not necessary. It's just being done to create a spirit of us and them.
Продажность. It's a word in Russian for corruption, but it's larger than corruption. It refers to a kind of existential state in which not only everything but everyone can be bought or sold.
Critics are calling this a quid pro quo deal between Adams and President Trump.
I'm committed to buying and owning gospel.
He made $2.5 billion today, and he made $900 million.
There's an expression in Polish.
It's all just fear-mongering. It's all just nothing. It's just fucking emotions.
Found myself at the very bottom. And then I heard knocking from below. In Russian, that gets
appealing
abbreviated.
to an expert is a fallacy because it does not mean they're right. Well, what experts do is they do studies, which we looked at today. And now you're saying, what?
Is no bottom.
Sometimes I want to just give up. I want to just play video games and I want to build a nice wall around my house and maybe get a nice house one day in New Zealand and let you fucking all fend for yourselves, man. But can't fucking do it, man. Can't fucking do it yet.
We cannot allow a handful of communist radical left judges to obstruct the enforcement of our laws.
What starts to matter is not what is concealed, but what has been normalized. There's no limit to the depravity.
Normalized. It's so well, this whole rhetoric is so normalized. If you read Steve Bannon's book, right, The Great Architect of MAGA, he has the shit theory. I can read the book. Throw shit at them and see what sticks. You just throw shit. We're gonna rename the Gulf of America. I'm gonna make Gaza. I'm gonna make a Trump Gaza. And you just throw so much shit at the people that their mind can't comprehend it. And the level of insanity just easily grows and everything gets normalized. You have to read that book of Steve Bannon, bro. The great architect of the MAGA movement, man, behind Donald Trump. That is this idea of just making the human brain of the people completely overflooded. They don't know what the fuck is happening, man. Like a guy in chat even said, man, the January 6th incident is like not much to American people. It's like, oh, it happened. It's cool. Don't worry about it.
Rule out the possibility of a third term.
And the sadism.
The White House released this video titled ASMR, Illegal Alien Deportation Flight.
And the cruelty that we are watching now play out in real time.
This facility is one of the tools in our toolkit that we will use.
You have to continually ask yourself the question, is this okay? Is there a line I wouldn't cross? Is there something I would not do?
People say, oh, the Democrats should be doing more, they should be fixing things. But if you want the Democrats to do things, you have to create the platform for them. You have to create the spectacle, the pageantry, the positive energy, the physical place where they can come to you.
Poland recently went through a shift towards authoritarianism. Unlike in Russia, unlike in
Tommy,
Hungary,
can you send me a
the media
lobotomy for Christmas?
remained a place in Poland where you could criticize the regime. And as a result, democracy returned. The moral of Poland is that our democratic institutions, the media, the university, and the courts are essential.
Yeah. And I talked about this for years, man. Anyone who did a single semester of law school or even just fucking basic IQ knows that courts have to be independent. What the fuck? Courts have to be independent, man. What the fuck is going on in America with these dumbass courts, bro? President, left or right, whatever, choosing who fucking joins that shit. Thank you, Kenny.
You know you're living
fucking OLED
in a
monitor, oh my
fascist
god.
society when you're constantly going over in your head the reasons why you're safe. What we want is a country where none of us have to feel that.
Okay. Let's call it there.
She slipped through my fingers like sand. Heard that she got a man. Now I'm just sitting here sad. Oh well, ship sail. She slipped through my fingers like sand.